Hi folks, Brian here. Do a video on the cuttings for rooting. We've tried 3 products to see how well they work. We got 3 rooting mediums. We have Azos. This stuff was not cheap. Azos. Clonex. And Root Tech. And we label these. This is all Root Tech right here. We used Root Tech on these. We used Azos in the soil, but not on the cuttings in this rooting medium. We did use the Root Tech gel for the cuttings themselves. In here we have Lombardy poplar cuttings from Lombardy poplar tree, and we got a bunch of birch, and I believe we have a swamp oak or a swamp maple tree of some sort. And we also got cottonwood in here too. And in here is peat moss and sand. That's it. Well, let's see what we got going on. We got a heat mat under this one and a light here. I have 3 lights. Put a new bulb in that light over there. Finally, that's my best light because it's the brightest. But we labeled these Root Tech, and we did Azos and Clonex in here. Okay, and we're going to take a look and see what we got. Well, as you can see, we got a lot of cuttings in here, and the Lombardy poplars are growing new leaves. Also, as you can see roots down there, so that's a good sign. See that big root right there? And more roots, lots of roots in here. That's good. Hopefully the birches root too. We will see. I think they will, but they might take a few more weeks longer. But here's all our cuttings in here. They're doing really well. So we're definitely going to get some trees. Right there you can kind of barely see, but under here you can see roots forming too. So that's a good sign. So that's Root Tech. And in here we got more cuttings. We used Root Riot inserts for these. And half of these we did with Clonex, the other half we did with Azos. And there's the inserts. Here they are. You can see a big root coming out of that Lombardy poplar. I don't know about the other cuttings, what they're doing. However, I do see some white bumps down there and then near that birch cutting, so that could be a sign of root activity, because bumps are usually an indication of root activity. But here's the other rooting medium. We do have sycamore, and then I don't know if they're going to make it or not. But I will say we're definitely going to get Lombardy poplar. Gee, that sycamore looks like it's trying to do something. So we'll testing out the different, my goal ultimately is to root birch. Anybody can root Lombardy, but I really want a birch. Now, in here we use Clonex, Azos, and Root Tech, all 3 of them. And we did not use peat moss or rapid root inserts. We used perlite, and I want to tell you why I use perlite. Biggest problem I've been having with the birch cuttings is they get too wet. They get too dry. So I want with perlite because it stays drier, but it stays slightly moist. So we want with perlite in here. We put the Azos in the perlite, mixed it around, and then we dip some cuttings in Azos. We dip some in Root Tech and some in Clonex. Most of these cuttings are birch. And as you can see, there's our birch cuttings. We got 1 cottonwood in here. And hopefully this trick works. I thought about it, and I think that the best way to do this with the birch is the perlite, just plain old perlite, nothing else. No peat moss, none of that, because that will prevent them from getting. And then we got our lights in here. I got a really good light, so we'll keep an eye on all these cuttings, and hopefully we get some birch cuttings to take root. I'll really be impressed if we get some birch. All right, folks. And also, something I did with some of the birches, like the stem cutting here, is where I cut it, I put some fast-growing Loctite, drying Loctite on there. The reason I did that is to prevent the cutting from drying out. And it's the fastest drying glue. So we'll keep you posted. We'll see how these cuttings do, folks. All right.